Hey, what's up everyone? John here from TestPrepInsight.com, and today we're going to be reviewing and comparing probably the four most popular NCLEX prep courses: Archer, UWorld, Nursing.com, and Kaplan. We've used and tested out and reviewed all four of these courses, and today I'm going to tell you who each would be best for. And by the way, I should just mention up front here that since I'll just be focusing on the high level stuff in this video, if you find you need more detail at any point, you can always check out our full detailed written comparison of these courses over on our website. An easy way to get there is just to Google Test Prep Insight Best NCLEX Courses. That's a quick way to find it. Okay, so let me just start by saying that each of these NCLEX courses is pretty different. They all have unique features and varying strengths and weaknesses, making them better fits for different types of learners and situational needs. Plus, they're even priced pretty differently, which helps narrow things down even further. So knowing that, I think the best way to do this video is just to give you a brief overview of each course and how it works and who each might be best for. Then at the end, I'll give you a quick recap and verdict of which course I would personally go with if those other factors don't necessarily push you one way or the other. And let's start with UWorld. So, the UWorld NCLEX Prep package is essentially just a QBank. That's it. There are no video lessons or prep books or cheat sheets or anything like that. It's a question bank full of practice problems, each with a detailed rationale. That is literally it. And what I'll say about their practice material is that while the quality of the practice questions is just okay, the problem explanations you get with those problems are the real highlight here. All of the UWorld rationales are filled with diagrams, images, charts, and a bunch of sharp visuals. This, in my opinion, makes UWorld a good fit for visual learners. If you learn well with graphics when reviewing your work, then UWorld would be a really good fit for you. But here's the two downsides with UWorld. One, there is no hard content review whatsoever. Like I said, there's no prep books or video lessons or anything, just practice work. And two, it's kind of expensive for just being a QBank. Their packages range from $160 up to $450, depending on features and access length, which from a pricing perspective is kind of in line with Kaplan and Nursing.com, both of which are more comprehensive courses, as you'll see here in a minute. And it makes UWorld way more expensive than comparable QBanks from Archer and Nurse Plus Academy. So my bottom line on UWorld is that it's a good question bank carried by solid rationales with visuals, but it's pretty pricey and lacks content review. Then second, you've got Kaplan. And Kaplan is sort of the opposite of UWorld. They give you a bunch of features. Video lessons, live classes, prep books, their QBank, study schedule, etc. It's just a much more comprehensive course. But of everything in the Kaplan NCLEX package, I think the best feature is the live classes. Of the four courses we're talking about here today, they're the only one that gives you live classes with access to instructors. So if you're the type of student that needs live classes, whether because you thrive in that type of environment or you need the structure and commitment you get with a fixed, regular live class schedule, Kaplan is likely going to be for you. And the live classes are legitimately good. The Kaplan instructors know their stuff and you get a bunch of quality review. That said, we think the rest of their package is just okay. The video lessons are pretty weak compared to Nursing.com, who we'll get to here in a second, and the practice problems are pretty good in terms of mirroring the real NCLEX. I think they're better than UWorld's, though the rationales are so-so. And the written materials are solid in their own right, but not super well integrated into the course. Bottom line for Kaplan, I think they should be your go-to if you want live classes. They would be perfect for the student needing a live class schedule to help review and practice. Plus, I almost forgot, the nice thing about Kaplan is that even though they offer live prep classes, their package is only a shade over $500. That might sound like a lot, but for a full course with a series of live classes, that is a very good value. Not to mention, even though that's a pretty good bargain, Kaplan still frequently runs sales and special promos where you can knock a few bucks off, so do make sure to look for coupon codes before buying. In fact, I'll actually do my best to keep the description below updated with the most current discounts and promo codes that I can find floating around out there for all of these companies, so make sure to check out that text below the video screen and maybe save yourself some money. Okay, so next, let's talk about Nursing.com. And Nursing.com is a lot like Kaplan in that they give you most everything in terms of features, but they definitely have different strengths. Where Kaplan's highlight and main differentiator is live classes, for Nursing.com, it's their SimClex and video lessons. Those are really the two things that make Nursing.com stand out from the other three NCLEX prep companies in my opinion. Let's start with the SimClex. This is Nursing.com's NCLEX simulator and it is very, very good. Of all the courses that we've reviewed, the problems in the SimClex are the most realistic that we've seen hands down. Nursing.com does an awesome job of matching the difficulty, style, and length of real NCLEX problems, especially the new next-gen problem types. and the rationales you get with each problem after the practice test are spot on. But just as importantly, the simulator itself is really good in terms of mirroring how the real NCLEX works. The Nursing.com simulator will adapt the difficulty of the test based on whether you're getting questions right or wrong, and it'll give you the same number of questions you would get on the real exam in order to pass. So it's a very realistic mock-up if you're looking to replicate what exam day will be like. And the other highlight of the Nursing.com course are all of the video lessons you get. There's about 300 of these on-demand video lessons covering content review, and they are really good as well. Nursing.com has upgraded the format of these videos over the last couple years, and they're all very short and digestible now, usually just 10 minutes long, and they feature all sorts of sharp graphics and diagrams for visual learners. They illustrate everything out on screen and break things down into short, bite-sized chunks. So that's where Nursing.com has advantages over its competitors: video lessons and its SimCLEX. Given this, I think Nursing.com would be best for those who are visual learners that need content review and or want to replicate real test day conditions with their SimCLEX. And one last thing is cost. Nursing.com is kind of in the middle of the pack in terms of pricing. They use a front-loaded installment plan for payment, but in short, their one-year package, which is their most popular, is around $250 in total, so about half the cost of Kaplan and the same as UWorld. Plus, kind of like Kaplan, you can almost always find their course on sale, usually for at least a third off, making it a particularly good value. So make sure to check for that. Again, I'll do my best to keep the description below updated with the most current discount and promo codes floating around out there, so make sure to check out that text below the video screen. Then lastly, we've got Archer NCLEX review. And here's the thing about Archer. They're a QBank only package, just like UWorld, but without the detailed rationales with cool graphics. It's essentially a more basic QBank version of UWorld. The practice problems are okay in terms of realism. The rationales are okay in terms of understandability and detail. The user interface is okay. Everything is just sort of okay. That's sort of the thing with Archer. It's just a plain vanilla, no frills question bank. Though, if there's anything positive here for us, it's the price. They are definitely the budget pick of the bunch. They have about a dozen different packages to choose from with all sorts of different content access periods and different included features, which creates this sort of crazy pricing grid. But if you're just looking at their standard QBank with 60 days of access, that's going to be about $90, a very strong value. But honestly, that's about all we could really find that we liked about Archer. Everything else is just sort of okay. So I suppose that makes it our pick for real budget shoppers. But anyway, that about does it for the detail in this video, so let's get to my final recap and verdict. But before I get to that, I should just mention that every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we actually give away a free prep course to one lucky person. Super simple dinner. Everyone out there is eligible. I'll put all the details down below in the description on how to get entered, but just know that it takes like 10 seconds and hey, you never know, you could win a totally free NCLEX prep course from one of the companies we've talked about here today. Okay, final verdict. So, which course to go with sort of depends on your situation and needs. If you're a real budget shopper like I just talked about, Archer is probably going to be your jam. They're a great value at just $90. But if you're a little less price sensitive, I would steer you towards the other three. If you need a bunch of practice problems with detailed rationales packed full of visuals, that would be UWorld. Though again, they're really just a QBank, and for the price that they charge, I think Nursing.com and Kaplan give you a lot more bang for your buck in terms of features. For example, if you want live classes or think that would benefit you, definitely check out Kaplan. They're our pick for live NCLEX instruction. But at the end of the day, I think the best all-around course of this bunch is Nursing.com. With their highly realistic NCLEX simulator and awesome video lessons, for the price, I think they're the best value and kind of give everyone the best of both worlds, with video lessons for visual learners and realistic NCLEX simulation for practicing under test-like conditions. That would be our pick. But anyway, that's all I've got for you. I hope this video has been helpful and you learned a little something about all these different NCLEX prep companies. If so, make sure to return the favor by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and drop me a comment below. That would be really appreciated. And again, if you want to see that full detailed written guide that I mentioned earlier in this video, just hop on over to our website, testprepinsight.com, or check out the other videos on our YouTube channel. We've got a bunch of great content out there. But as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and I'll see you in the next one.